Hello there, and welcome to my channel, Novice Modelling in a Midlife Crisis. My name is Andy, and today, as you can see, we've got our Tasman 172 Airspeed Oxford Mark II in front of us, which is kit number TM105, which we are building in the run-up to New Zealand Day, and we're hoping to have it finished by this auspicious occasion, which is February the 6th, so we've given us a very short time scale of about 5 or 6 days to get this done. And what we've done so far is we've trimmed our parts from our rather chunky sprues using our cutters. We've attacked the innards of our wings with our Hardell Dremel copy to remove some of the injection molding process, and to do with this we've used these rather nasty sanding parts. We've also used this sort of polishing part. We've attacked various parts with our sanding stick, our rubbing stick, our craft knife, and an assortment of files as well. We do anticipate in the future we're probably going to be calling on the Vallejo Magic Plastic Putty to cover up a few of the slight excitements that we've had. So what we're going to be doing on this particular video is we're going to be gluing some parts together, and I'm kind of going away from what I normally do, which is Tamiya cement, and I'm going to be using the Tamiya extra thin cement on this. I don't really know why. I've just kind of decided to try a different process. Normally when I stick parts together, sometimes I occasionally use a little bit of what's this stuff called? Masking tape. I use a little bit of masking tape as well. I've decided to use some rubber bands today for some reason, and I bought these for 9p, and they have my Cardiff postcode written on them. I went to uni when I was 33, and that was where I lived, CF24 4LP, and that was about 15 years ago. Consequently, some of them are broke. So these are kind of old, you could say, a little bit like myself. So what we've done is we've, like I say, we've kind of finessed some of these parts. We've got them fitting together quite well, and we're going to be using the Tamiya extra thin, and we're just going to be brushing in the parts that are exposed by our rubber bands, and then at a later date, or in about an hour or so, we're going to take them off, and we're just going to finish the job, so to speak. What we've done with our fuselage, as you can see, we've used a bit of XF21 Sky. I kind of like doing my innards of the fuselage in this sort of colour. It's kind of something I started doing about 10 months ago. I'm not quite sure whether it's the right colour. There's not a lot of guidance with the instructions. So I've painted the insides with this. I've constructed a sort of rising point with some excess sprue, because there are no guiding lines for the cockpit floor. I've put my seats in, and I've done a not exactly great job of mounting my cockpit console display, which I've painted black, and I've put a few white dots and a few bits of aluminium in there as well, just to sort of synthesize the various instruments that there are. As you can see, when this goes together, we'll put some rubber bands on it in a second. It kind of fits together quite nicely. I think it's kind of in the right position. I'm not 100% certain, but it kind of looks about right. Although the pilots would have to be Douglas Bader or Bader, because there's not an awful lot of leg space under the cockpit console. But I think it kind of looks about right. It's not perfect from the front. I'm a novice. This is kind of a difficult kit. I'm quite happy to allow that to be covered with the cockpit canopy and hope for the best. I've constructed myself a little jig here, which I'm hoping will allow me to attach my parts of the tail together. Obviously, I'm aware that people that are more skilled than me might use a little bit of brass rod or some different methods to attach these parts, because as you can see, nothing on this kit comes with any real guide holes or guide points. it is very much a case of get it in and get it fitted as best you can. Being a novice, like I previously said, it's kind of like in a get out jail free card that I always use. I'm quite happy if this comes out pretty well. So this is a third sort of New Zealand garage kit that I've had an attempt at, and they gradually seem to be getting a little better. My main intention for, I have about 20 Tasman, J's and Ventura kits that I'm going to be sort of building over the next couple of years, and I'm kind of trying to use these as a sort of gauge to my skill improvements. So I'm hoping that every single one will get a little bit better over time, and hopefully they'll end up pretty good, because they are kind of difficult to do, although the parts are kind of basic, because these are sort of 1990s vintage kits, and they're kind of hard at the end of the day. So, you know, so what else have we got to look at here? We've sort of rough trimmed our cockpit canopy. It looks kind of big, I do realise, but as you can see here, there are some sort of grooves here, and the whole of this cockpit canopy, which is kind of unusual, fits over the top of the fuselage, which is, like I say, it's kind of bizarre. We also get another piece for the nose cone. As you can see, we've got grooves again, and that is going to fit over there like that. It's a novel, interesting way of doing it. I've not seen it before. It's not actually been something that's on the other Ventura J's kits that I've done. So that's going to be a whole new experience for me and you to get through, I suppose. Yeah, so we're going to have a quick dram of that now. Dutch courage, so to speak. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to start with this wing here. If I get round to doing this wing, I'll do it as well. As you can see, there is a strange gap here, which requires this other piece to go in. We'll be doing that at a later date, probably off camera. There is an explanation for this in the instructions as to why it is set out this way. I think it was just a case of it didn't really sort of fit into the mould, or they struggled to get it quite right. So anyway, let's get this Tamiya extra thin out, and we'll see how we get on, I suppose. So all I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting some Tamiya extra thin close to where the rubber bands are not, and when that is set, I'm going to return to it and put a bit more on off camera. Like I say, this is kind of an odd way of doing it. Don't recall seeing anybody doing this before. It's just, I've just decided to do it this way, because why the hell not? I can do what the hell I want. I'm on doing this in front of you, and let's just experiment and see what happens. So anyway, because we all know that the Tamiya extra thin has this miraculous capillary effect, what we're hoping is going to happen is it's just going to set in place, and any sort of edges, because the plastic on these is really nice, I'm just going to file out or sand out, because the plastic on these kits just lends itself to being manipulated, which is kind of bizarre. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people find your regular Tamiyas and air fixes and what are very easy to deal with. These are at a different sort of level of complexity and bizarreness. So I don't know, I'm just going to experiment with this wing. As you can see, I'm just putting a little bit of liberal extra thin on, and off camera later we'll kind of see what happens, I suppose. I might have had a bottle of wine tonight as well. It's probably not the best idea to be attacking a complicated model, like, you know, but I was watching Draken Eiffel, you know, the guy that talks about warships on YouTube. I kind of like him, he's pretty good. Okay, So we're going to do the same thing with this. We're going to put some rubber bands on with my 15-year-old rubber bands. And let's see what happens, basically. So I'm going to put one on the tail. Like so. I'm going to put one amidships. Kind of a nautical term, but kind of refers to in the middle, I think. Eh. I did practice this before, by the way. It kind of worked out okay. Oh, man. One there. Let's just line her up a bit. And I'm going to stick one in the cockpit. Like so. I mean, like I say, you could use pegs or masking tape for this, but I kind of had a bit of a play around, and I kind of like the idea of just trying this out and seeing what happens. So you can see we've got a few sort of rough edges here, which we can attack with our Dremel or a sanding stick or something like that. There's quite a bit of gapping going on at the front, but once I've sort of secured the rear part, I'm going to return to it and push that together, and hopefully the Vallejo will sort out any issues after the gluing process has taken effect. So that seems to be around about right. So I'm just going to whap a load of Tamiya extra thin on that, I suppose. Let's see what happens. Because novices are allowed to make mistakes, and novices are allowed to do things how they want, basically. Kind of hoping that the tension on the rubber bands will make that kind of a good seal. Answers on a postcard, please. Am I doing a good thing here? Am I discovering something new? Or am I just going to cock this up? I'm not exactly certain. But hey, it's a good experiment. Probably would have helped if I wasn't half cut. I'm going to leave that bit until this bit is hopefully set, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, kind of hoping that might work, and we're rubbing thick later on, and we'll see how that goes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my pre-made jig. I'm going to have to move that along a little bit, which, as you can see, I hope, let's just get that down there a bit. It's hopefully going to allow my tail plane to fit in place. So, but this part I'm going to use Tamiya cement because I kind of want to be able to manipulate this. Whoops. Experimentation, it's wonderful. Just going to go and have a look over there. I think that might be about right. Kind of looks quite straight. Straight from the top. So I don't know. So I haven't put that much glue on. So if there are any sort of oopsies here, I think I might just be able to prise things apart and readjust what I've done. But we're on 15-16 minutes now, so I'm sure you're getting bored of me waffling and talking nonsense. So let's just move that up there. So premium scapegrace, single malt whiskey. So we looked at this before, and it said tasting notes of spiced walnuts, cider apples, and sweet hay. Now I've got to be quite honest with you, I can taste the sweet hay in this. It's kind of like burning hay in the background of a field. I kind of like it. So thanks for watching me semi-drunkenly attack my Airspeed Octave Mark II with some glue. Hope you enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed myself. And that's all I can say about it, really. So thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe. And as always, be seeing you.